Welcome to the Kurious Podcast. I'm your host, Mike. Today, we have a very special guest with us, Chris Avila, self-made business entrepreneur, founder, and CEO of Cap Solutions. Chris came here from Brazil with nothing but a determination and a dream, and he now runs a successful detailing business that operates inside of many dealerships across the Northeast of the United States. Today, he's sharing his insights to success. Chris, how are you?
Good. That was good, the presentation.
I'm excited to have you today. There's many reasons why. First, I know so many people are going to resonate with your story, and I know you have so many insights to success. So let's get right into it. Let's not hold back. So I want to start from the beginning. You came from Brazil to the United States. Give me a little of your background, and also, what was it like migrating from Brazil to the United States? Give me that journey.
All right. Before we start telling about this, let me say something.
Please.
First, thanks so much, Michael, to call me. Say, I really like you. You have a lot of energy. It's even a lot of energy for me.
I appreciate that.
But I really like everything you do. I will support everything you do, even this podcast. You could call me anytime you need, and I'll come. But the first thing is, like, I'm a family guy. So I'm really a family guy. I love my family. I love my kids. I love my wife. My wife is my soulmate. I know she's going to listen there, so love you.
I got to put that in there.
I have to make sure I say this.
Of course.
And besides that, I'm a business person. So I really have my mind in business all the time. And I like to create business. In my mind, I cannot work to somebody else.
Yes.
And it's in my mind that I'm serve people. Always trying to find ways to serve people. Yes. And this is, I think, business, it goes good with that. And the other thing is, I'm a religious guy. So I really believe in God. Not those crazy religious guys, but I really believe in God. So those three things are really important for me. Yes. My family, God, and business mindset, right? So I was born in Brazil, not from a rich family. My family is not really rich. Mm-hmm. So I have 2 degrees. I have geography and business administration.
Okay.
So I was teacher for 10 years in Brazil. My whole family is involved with school and colleges or things like that. So I have 2 degrees, and I was teacher for 10 years. One of the things that I tell everybody is, I think you should be teacher for minimum a year in your life.
Teaches a lot, right?
Teacher is really important.
Yeah.
I think teacher, if you're a teacher for your life, it's pretty good. But if you want to be a business person, it's really important. Yeah. So when you teach, you learn a lot of things. You learn how to read people. You learn you understand that people have flaws. Yes. So you know that people need help. You see the improvement in people when you really make some effort. So I think I was teacher for 10 years, and I really love when I was teacher, and this helps me a lot today as a business person. So I really like the idea to be a teacher, and I open a lot of business in Brazil. I opened like 5 or 6.
Oh, really?
And all of them fail.
Any businesses in what you do today?
Nothing to do with what I do.
Nothing
today.
what you do today.
So all those businesses, they really fail. Yeah. But I don't see as a fail. I see as a steps. I see as a learning curve. I never give up. I know that I lost some money in the way. I know that I can say I waste time, because it wasn't a waste time. I really learn a lot in those, and I never stops. So I open one, it fails. I open another one, it fails again. I open another one, it fails again. But I keep trying. I keep trying to see if it will work or not. Right. And I keep learning. Right. And I think as a business person, that's important too.
And I think it was much, not to interrupt, I think it was very meaningful that you're starting these businesses not only in the United States, in Brazil, which is probably way more difficult economic standing to actually find success with a business. And then you come over to the United States, try to make a name for yourself. I'm not saying it was easy, but it was definitely something that's way more fruitful down the road. When did you realize that you didn't want to teach anymore?
I realized I don't want to teach anymore. I think because of the internet. Because what happened today is whatever you say, they just check in the internet. They just Google. And before was more, I think it was more funny, or was more like, everybody gets involved. Everybody likes when I was teaching. And I think right now it's so hard to be a teacher, and at the same time it's so hard to be a student. because let's see, besides math, 2 and 2 is 4. That's all. It doesn't matter which year, which place. 2 is 4. Yeah. But I was history and geography teacher. So whatever I say today, it's so complicated.
Yeah, there's a lot of subjectivity, opinions about what it actually was.
Exactly what it is or not. So I was telling my part, my view.
Yeah.
But I can see that they have a different views and things like that. So I couldn't see any motivation anymore, and then I decided to stop.
That makes sense.
I decided to stop not only for me, but for students too. So I think for a student today, it's so hard to be in class. But in the same way, it's hard for the teacher too,
right,
to be there. Even if they prepare a lot, it is really complicated. So that's one of the reasons. Like before, I don't have to tell to students to be quiet. So I was giving class and they like the idea, they like what I'm saying, they all involved. And then get to a point that they lost motivation and I couldn't handle anymore. I'm like, all right, so maybe my time is gone. Right. So I have to move on. I have to do another thing.
Now, while you were in Brazil, what was life like over there? What was the reason, what made you at least come over here? Because there was some reason why you had to come over here. So was there a breaking point? Was it like, you know what, I've failed these businesses, I'm teaching, but I want more, the grass is greener somewhere else? Or was it just like you had to move over here type of deal?
No. What happened is one business make come over here.
Oh, okay.
The last business I tried.
Yep.
So the last business I'm trying there is my whole family is involved in the school. So they have like here you have public school. Public school is pretty good. In Brazil, public school sucks. They're really bad. Yeah. So they have the private schools.
Okay.
So it's a lot of private schools. So my family have a private school in there, and it's big.
Oh,
it's
really?
still strong. They are really good schools. It's like 3 or 4, and it's big. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, they decide to open a college. So they have since kindergarten, middle school, high school. They decide to do a college. So they opened the college. I sold everything that I have. I was working the school, but I was only teacher. I didn't own the school or nothing. But I sold everything that I have, and I invest 10% in the college. So I get in the business with the family.
That's nice.
But in that moment, I was working literally 24/7. I was working like a crazy. I was killing myself. I was teaching in the morning, sometimes in the afternoon, and I work in the college at night. Oh, so I was a CFO in the college. I was literally working 24/7. I don't have time for one of the things that's important for me. It's my family. So my older son, João, I think I didn't see when he was born.
Oh, yeah, because you were working that much.
I was working like 24/7.
Yep.
I start to work like about like 6:30. I stop like midnight.
Oh, my goodness.
And even like that, I have to think about a bunch of things when I'm home or something like that.
Of course, yeah.
My wife is one of that pressure me to change. She's like, all right, so this is a good thing. We are growing and everything, but we need more time. We need to we have to find a solution. We have to do something. I have some spots in my skin. There's so much stress.
Really?
Yeah. And I was young. I was like 27, 28. So it was a lot in my back. So if I would do today, it would be completely different. I'm pretty sure I could handle much better.
Of course.
But in that moment, it was really tough on me. And then after 2 years that I bought the college, like 2 years and a half, we get an opportunity to come to America. So we have a proposal to move to America.
Gotcha.
And this was the moment that I decided to do it. But what happened is, how I decided to do it. To me, do this transition wasn't something easy because I just invested in a company. I still teaching. My whole family was there. My family is big. So I have a house. So it was something a little bit complicated for me. But then what I did is I sit down with my wife, we pray a lot, and we say something like this. All right, we're going to start to organize the paperwork. We're going to start to organize the travel. We're going to start to let go things in Brazil. If the thing's really supposed to happen, and then we move to USA.
Right.
Because it's something complicated. It's not something, I just moved here. No. It was something complicated. We have a lot of things to do it.
Of course.
And we are like asking God in that moment. Like, God, if this is for really happen, so you just let us know. And then we start the whole process. 3 months, we were leaving America.
Wow, really?
3 months, we
Just
were
like
here.
that.
It was really fast.
That's awesome, though.
Some people
when you know, you know.
Some people just find out that we are here when we are already here.
That's awesome. So that's awesome that you were decisive enough to actually make that move. When you first came here, there obviously, as an immigrant, as a foreigner, you're faced with so many obstacles. What do you feel as a week one, month one, year one of being an American? What's the biggest obstacle? What are common challenges that you're facing right when you get here? Not only just starting a business, but literally just getting into the lifestyle of an American. What's sort of the biggest obstacle, or one that just comes to your head?
I think the biggest problem is the language.
Yes.
This is really hard.
Yes.
Language, even if you really want to learn, it take you about like a year, maybe 2 years. And to Brazilians, English is not that complicated because we have everything from America and Brazil. Right. We listen music from America. We eat McDonald's. Right. We moves from America. So it was like we already have some things from English. Right?
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that there was.
Yeah, it's a lot of things. We have Nikes. We have everything in Brazil from. I think 90% of the moves that we see there is from America.
Okay.
The songs, the music, is everything is from America.
Yeah.
It's not everything, but maybe like 70%. It's
right.
from America. So we use it a little bit with English, but it is completely different when we decide to move to the place. Let's say if you go to Brazil right now and you take a vacation 2 weeks in Brazil. So you don't have to learn the language. So it's going to be a little bit hard, but it's going to be even funny.
It's
going to be okay. You're going to find the solutions. But if you move to a place, you really decide to live in the place, and then you have to know how to speak.
Have to. Especially if you want to start a business too.
Exactly.
And market yourself and go out and get leads.
Exactly.
You got to at least understand how to speak the language.
So if you go to a place that is, let's say if you go to Florida, anybody that go to Florida, they don't even need to speak English. They're going to find the solutions in there. But if they go to Florida to work or to live in there, it's completely different.
Yeah.
And then the pressure is much bigger. So I took about 6 months, less than that, probably like 3 months to learn write and read. So that one I learned really fast. But it took me about a year to really start to speak English a little bit better.
Right.
Understandable.
Right.
Because I still speak like bad English, but
of course.
English,
No, but it is very good.
It took me like about a year and a half, 2 years to really start to speak.
Gotcha. Now, people who come as an immigrant to the United States, a lot of them are probably really nervous to go out and speak to people, never mind even starting a business, just speaking to people, try to speak English. You said that you read and write before you went out to people and start speaking. Like, were you starting your business as you were learning how to read and write English, or was it you learned English pretty well and then you were going out and starting your business?
No, I was going out without speaking.
That's good to know. That's
I was just like,
because a lot of people are
hands.
Yeah, but that's so. The reason I ask is because a lot of people are mental planners, right? And they get caught up in this mental like warfare of like, okay, I want to make sure I have all my ducks in a row, everything aligned before I'm going out there. But really, what's the best teacher is going out there and doing it and learning by execution and failing and getting somebody to tell you that you said this wrong or you did this wrong, but you'll learn that much better. So it's good to hear. And I figured that you just went out and did it, and that's how you learned, right?
Yes. I think you have to go out.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Like most of people that they don't learn English is because they are ashamed. So, and the other thing is like Americans are really good in that. Like they understand. Like when he came over, my son was in school and the principal call was and said to us, make sure your son don't lose the Portuguese.
Yeah.
Make sure he keep the language. Because like he is going to speak 2 language. I speak only one. But another thing is, let's see the Spanish people. So we have a lot of Spanish people here. What's the problem about Spanish people? They have their own community. They have their own TV. They have their own magazine. They have their own newspaper, radio, and everything. So it is a little bit hard to them to learn another language.
Yes.
Because they already have everything.
They have everything they need.
But this is really bad because this holds them back.
Big time.
It's complicated for them. They're supposed to see this. They have to try a little bit better. Like when we came over, we came to a place that have a lot of Brazilian people. And I'm like, 3 months, I'm like, I'm not going to learn any English. I'm just involved with Brazilian people
Portuguese.
over here.
You're going to,
And then we moved to another town that doesn't have any Brazilian there. In that case, I have to force myself to learn the English, to make sure I can speak with people. And then I learned really fast the Spanish and English. So now I speak the three languages.
Yeah, put yourself in an environment that forces you to learn rather than staying complacent and comfortable with the Portuguese that you were.
But I can tell sometimes it's really hard.
Yeah,
like you go to so many troubles. Like you put yourself in so many places that you're like, oh my God, what I'm saying, what I'm doing.
So now that we got, because I feel like we got a good feel of your background, your personal story, I want to get into the business side of things now.
Okay.
I mean, you have a phenomenal business structure. You have many franchisees. I want to dip into sort of Cap Solutions and how you came up with it. What got you into the detailing business?
Wait, let me go back a little bit.
Please.
I think you have a whole history.
Let's hear it.
What happened is, so when I came to America, I came like literally tired of the business because it was really tough for me when I opened the college in there, when I was partnering the college in there. Yeah. So I came over in with two mentality. So I just gonna do any easy job. I'm not gonna take any responsibility or nothing. In same way, I have the mentality that I'm gonna open something in the future.
Yes.
Because I keep this in my mind. So I'm gonna learn as much as I can. Because I did business administration in Brazil, but in Brazil, business is in one way. Over here, it's completely different.
Oh, really?
It's completely different. The way you pay taxes, the way you open business, the way everything works. It's completely different, right? So I came in a mentality like to work in a way that can rest a little bit.
Yes.
Sorry.
Not have as much responsibility.
Not much responsibility. Yeah. And when I came over, I started working a franchise business. So it was a company that is a franchise.
Okay.
Right? So this was a really good thing for me because I saw how the franchise works. Mm-hmm. So I saw all the training process they use, the control numbers they use, how they do the inventory, how they make marketing. Yeah. So this was really good for me. It was a little bit overwhelmed at first, but I just deepen in it and I study a lot and I see how everything working in that business. Right. So I was working, but at the same time I was learning too.
Of course,
like, I was literally in a college.
Yeah.
Getting money to make a college because I was learning a different language. I was learning business, how to do business over here.
Yes.
Right? So after that, I decided to move to another company. So I went to a small company. Okay. Now that one is a completely different company. It's not that small. I was a car wash, but it was a car wash, oil change, detailing. They have a gas station. They have different locations. Yep. They have a Dunkin' Donuts inside of the gas station. The thing is, the company doesn't have anything organized. Nothing. The owner was making so much money. He doesn't care about anything. He doesn't have any report or anything. Like he knows only what he has in the bank and how much I have to pay payroll, and that's all.
That's all he cares about.
He doesn't know any numbers. He doesn't know if the detailing was making money. For you to have idea, when I start to work with him, he has like 5 years prior. He has about like 120 customer accounts. Like he has a regular customers, but he have 120 accounts. So when I start to work with him, he has about like only 20. So he lost like 100.
Oh my goodness.
So I was like, why this happened? Like you're supposed to have all those customers back. But like he was a little bit old. He doesn't care. I'm not gonna do anything. But to me, working that business was perfect because I start to organize the business. I supposed to start to work 9 o'clock in the morning, but I went in there 5 in the morning every single day to 9 o'clock in the morning. He doesn't even know that. And then I start to organize the whole financial structure for him. So how much he does in the detailing, exactly. What's the profit? What's the cost? How much he does in one of the gas station? How much he's doing in the oil change? So I spend about 3 or 4 months organize the whole financial system too. He doesn't know about that. So when I finished, you know how he find out that I was doing
His
that?
mind must have been blown, by the way. How did he find out?
He find out because of the alarm. The alarm company sent a message to him like, somebody's getting there every day, 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
He doesn't even know. He gets so crazy. He calls me. He decided to put me as a manager, but I don't want to do it. My idea is like, so now the system work. Now you have all the numbers.
Right.
Every Monday he has all the numbers in his desk, everything about the company.
Wow.
But I did this to him, but at the same time I did this to myself.
Of course.
So I use what I learned in Brazil. I use what I learned in the franchise company that I work in here in America, and then I transformed that company. It was completely different after all those financial numbers they have. When I left there after 6 months or a year, I went back there. They're using the same reports that I created
you generated. Wow.
So, but this was really good for me.
Yeah,
so
of course.
in reality, you can think. So you work for like 3 months for free.
Yeah.
5 o'clock in the morning to 9. No, I wasn't working for free. I was like, I was hustling. I was learning. I was practicing. I was training.
And there's so many things that you can't learn in a classroom that you learned actually executing and doing, sort of like what we were saying before.
So those two businesses helped me a lot in the business that I have now.
Yep.
Not only those two businesses, all this knowledge, the companies that I work and things like that. But these two businesses helped me to understand or to have a vision on how business work in America.
Of course, that makes sense.
So, and then how Cap Solutions was born.
Why detailing? Is it because a car wash was there and you were like, you know what, washing cars seems pretty cool?
In reality, I don't see like detailing. To me, it doesn't matter if it's detailing. To me, it's like it is a business that can duplicate, it can grow. It's the same like, let's see if you're a doctor. So if you're a doctor and you have to be in the place working all the time, I don't think this is a good idea.
Yeah, you can't scale it.
I don't think this is a good thing. Now, if you're a doctor and you open a hospital or something like that, and then it's a different thing. So you don't have to be there. So in my mind it doesn't matter what marketing, it doesn't matter what you do. What matters is, can you duplicate that? Can you make this involve other people and everybody is making money in there?
Yes.
And what happened with Cap Solution was one owner of one dealership went to talk to the owner of the car wash. So he went there and said, listen, I need some help. Can you send some guys to do some services in my dealership? I have the space. You can do right there. You can make some money. And he doesn't want to do it. And he said, I even talked to him. Say, listen, like, why are you not going to do it? This is you have the people, you know how to do, you have the products, you have it, you just bring some guys. I can help you. I can manage this if you want. And he's like, no, it's too much work. I'm not gonna do it. And in that moment, like, okay,
light switch went off.
So I think we'll be there.
Yeah, that's actually right.
But in that moment, I'm not even good in detailing.
Right.
So I know how to handle. I know how to do some trainings.
But you have the mentality of like, I will figure it out.
I will find a solution.
Yeah,
I'll find a way.
I'll be able to work it.
I'll be able to work it. And then when he decided not to do it, I decided to quit and open my own business. That's when Cap Solution was born.
And when you first started, was it always dealerships that were on your head, or how did it go from starting just Cap Solutions, just beginning, to where it is now? Like, so sort of, I know it didn't start off in dealerships. Did it start off mobile? Did it start off people coming over to your house and you just washing their car, or was it sort of something else?
No, the way we started was no dealership, because I don't have money at that moment. So I work in my van. My English was really, really bad in that moment. But I knew I have to do it. Like, it's the same thing. Like, God, should I do or not? If this works, I'm supposed to do it.
Yep.
And then we have a small problem in the bills in where I was working. Like, I watched. For some reason, I did decide to leave. Okay. But I know it wasn't that problem, because I have something else that I have to do it.
Of course.
But when I started, it was really hard. I started as a mobile detailing, and I just go to people's house and ask if they want to do detailing. That's all. That's what I do. But my wife is always with me. She's always like supporting me. She supports me a lot. We got a lot of points that 3 or 4 months, I have nothing. So I wake up every day like, I can do that. I have to find a job. I have to find something.
You need consistent work.
And she's like, nope, You already did. Now you're gonna hold on. You're gonna do it. You're not gonna work. I gonna take care of everything. And she was working, right? And I'm like, oh my god. But I was all right. So let's do it. Let's keep doing it, right?
Not to cut you off real quick, because I want to go off of that, because I think it's super important that people hear that. How important is it to have a significant other or a partner that supports your dream or supports your goals that you have in life? Because it already sounds like your wife just sounds like she's a ride or die. Whatever you have your mind on, she's ready to support you through it out. Because it's very easy as an entrepreneur or business owner's wife or significant other to be like, he's delusional or he doesn't know what he's talking about. I don't, exactly. And they don't even believe it. But when your significant other's telling you, you know what, you've made this decision, now you have to go for it. It gives you motivation, right?
It gives.
So what was it like, obviously going through tough times with entrepreneurship, being a business owner, what's it like having a significant other that supports you? I'm sure it's everything, right?
So I'm not sure if I'm crazy or my wife is crazy.
There needs to be some level of crazy to balance you out.
But I think it's both.
Yeah.
And that's why we're together.
Of course.
But like if anybody sees how us when we start, they will say, you guys are completely crazy.
Yeah.
Like this is not possible. You guys don't speak any English. You guys don't have any money to invest in anything. Like whatever money I did, I just buy. Like I bought a small compressor. Like it was completely crazy. But I knew that I have to do it. But her support was really important. Every single day, she's not. You can do it. You're gonna do it. You're not gonna stop it. And I will help you. We get. Like it was really hard about money because we don't have any money. We don't have anything. We just came over. Just start over. But her support is important. That's why I think franchise is really important because it's not just one person. It's a whole group. I know that the franchise system gives the support to all the franchisees, but I know between them, they help each other. When they have any problem or they're down with something, they call each other. Like, what do you do in this case? What happened is this happened?
Right.
What do you think we should do? So I know they help each other.
Right.
And,
it's like a family.
Like a family.
It really is a family.
That's why I really love the idea of the franchise. Like you literally have a bunch of support.
Yeah.
And when somebody come to me and ask about the franchise, the first thing I tell them is like, can you call a spouse? Can you call a wife? Can you call a husband? In the first meeting, they must be in the first meeting.
Yes.
If they don't come right there, I say, I don't think you're going to do it.
It's a huge decision.
I don't think you're going to do it.
Yeah.
Because if they don't have the support, it is so complicated. Because if they decide to open a business, it changes the whole life.
Oh, 100%.
It changes everything. The way they think, the way they can spend money. Sometimes the way, if they have to move to another place. So it changes everything.
Yeah.
So if they're not prepared, if they don't have the support, I don't think it's going to work. So my wife was really important in this moment. But I know she will support me regardless what happened. Right? I was doubting myself and she was like pushing me. It's like, no, you're going to do it. You're going to do it. In reality, the first customer we got, it was her. Like the first dealership we got was her.
Oh, really?
So she was visiting some dealerships and she went to one dealership and she talks to the general manager and he says, all right, so I like the idea. You guys can start next week.
You must have been a green light, like, wow, I can't believe it.
And I have no idea to work in a dealership.
Of course.
Shout out to Ronnie da Silva. Ronnie da Silva, he was my guy. He was the first one that opened the doors for us. He's right now is a GM in Acura in Avon. Great guy. He's a really nice guy.
That's awesome.
And he saw that we don't know anything. But I think he was crazy too.
Yeah.
But he supports us anyway. I think he needs somebody to be there. And he's like, you know what? Those guys, it looks like they want to do it.
Yep.
I was just going to support them. I'm just going to help them as much as I can. And he gave us a contract. And that was the first contract we get. And from him, I think we take like 4 or 5 different stores. He helps us to get different stores.
That first deal must have been proof of concept and must have been very validating. Like, wow, we could actually do something with this. Once you get into, I feel like the hardest, and again, I could be wrong here, the hardest thing is getting that first deal, getting that first contract, getting that first offer. So when you get that strike blood, that first blood, I feel like it's so validating that, wow, I could replicate this. I could do this again. I could actually do something with this. Was it sort of like that with you? With that, getting in that first dealership, you're like, wow. I could get into more dealerships. Wow, I could actually do something with this. Because it's nice.
What happened is when I get the dealership, it was more like a survival mode.
Yes.
Because in mobile detailing, I'm not doing anything.
Right.
Like literally, whoever is out there doing mobile detailing is not making any money.
Yeah.
It's just wasting time. It's
not
even pay themselves, right?
Yeah.
But when I get the first dealership, to me was like, all right, so I'm gonna survive.
Yep.
So it's survive mode. I wasn't thinking about I want to grow or something. I was thinking like, all right, so now I have money to pay grocery.
Yeah.
That's what I have right now. So it was a good start.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But what happened is we grow really fast. Really fast. I got one dealer and then really fast I got the second one, I got the third one, I got the fourth one. I was working like a crazy again.
Yep.
We got 7 dealerships really fast. The thing is, I don't have any organization, nothing. I was like working all the time. I was managing, I was buying products. I was like, if somebody didn't show up to work, I go there. I go in every dealership and managers and talk to them. Buying products was like completely nightmare. But from those 7 dealerships, 3 was an auto group. Jeff Z was the general manager there. I knew we are not doing a good job because I was just running around. I was doing some money, but I was running around like a crazy. Yeah. Things grow so fast. Efficient. I wasn't prepared. Wasn't efficient. I have people calling me from Massachusetts to go there. I'm like, I cannot do that. I already have 7 here that I can even handle. Yeah. My phone is ringing like 24/7. So what happened is, when I got these 7 dealers, Jeff Z, he partnered today in GM and Kia in Hartford. So he's a really tough guy, but he's really smart. Like, he's my friend today. I'm really honored to have him as a friend. But he called me when we have the 7 dealers. He called me and he's like, "Get out of my company. You guys suck. You guys are horrible. You guys are really bad." And I lost 3 dealerships at once.
Oh, wow.
This was really hard on me. It was crazy. Because in that moment, I find out I wasn't doing correct. I was doing bad. That moment was like a wake-up call. Like, in that moment, I was like, I hate you. Yeah. You're horrible.
Yeah.
But after 1 week crying and suffering, and I'm like, this guy's the best. He just showed me that I was doing everything wrong. Like, this is a good business. I can grow this business, but I have to organize this. I can't do the way that I'm doing right now.
Right.
This mistake that I did before was the same mistake of most of detailing company does right now.
Yeah.
They just open a business, get 1, get 2, get 3. They no organization at all. They just start to grow, and then they lose dealers, and they leave a bad taste in dealerships' mouth because they go there, they have a bad experience.
Yep.
So that moment what happened is when Jeff told this to us, I was devastated. Literally, I was like, oh shoot, I thought I was doing okay. I knew that I wasn't doing okay.
Yeah.
But he opened my eyes. So in that moment, it was born Cap Franchise.
Ah, okay.
In that moment, it was born.
So that was the point that made you be like, you know what, I need to start franchising. That was the point. And thinking about it.
Not really the franchise. In that moment, what happened is, I decided to stop and organize the whole company before get any dealership.
I see.
So in that moment, say, if I want to grow, I have to organize everything. And then I spent about 2 years and a half just organizing the store. I said, I'm not going to take any dealer anymore. I'm going to spend 2 years and a half organizing everything. Yeah. And in these 2 years and a half, I organize uniform, what the detailer is going to do, what the manager store is going to do, what the general manager is going to do, which product we're going to use. We build a website and we can have control of everything in the website. Literally, I spent 2 years and a half without taking any customer, just organizing the company. And in this process, I find out that this would be a good business, and I find out that I can share this with other people. Like, if I get more people involved, this would grow more than what I expect.
Right.
So and then in this moment, the idea of the franchise came up. So I was organizing, no dealership anymore. I think I have like 4 dealerships. It was a good number. 4 dealerships was a good number. But I knew I can grow more. And I was organizing everything. I did a lot of tests. one crazy thing that we did in this moment was I decided not to hire detailers anymore. And imagining I go to some dealerships and I tell them, I'm a detailing company and I don't hire detailers. They're like, what? You're
Get
crazy.
out.
You're crazy.
Yeah.
But what I did is I find out that detailers, 9% they lie. They tell they know detailers. They don't know nothing about detailer. They don't have any management skills. They don't know how to handle people. They want to use only the products they want to use. They want to use only the equipment they want to use. They don't know how to work as a team. That's not everybody. I'm like
No, but the most of them, a lot of them. Yep.
Most of them.
And they want you to pay them a ridiculous amount of money.
Yep. They think like, I'm detailer for 20 years. I have to make millions.
Yep.
That's not the reality.
Yeah.
Even the dealers, they don't pay that much.
No.
But I find out that work with one of the things is like detailers doesn't know how to work as a team. So if they get one car, they do their car, nobody touching their car. So I'm like, I cannot do this. Like I have to find the solutions. So what I did is I created a process that I can teach somebody the basics of detailers in 10 days. So we decided to hire people that doesn't know anything and teach them from zero. But I have to create this whole process. But this whole process that we create, it makes us 100% better than any detailing company out there. I know for sure. We don't waste time. We can move people around in the dealerships. They feel grateful because they are learning something different. We use one set of products. We have a standard quality because all the cars is going to look almost the same. It's not going to be one car perfect, another one. No, right. All the same.
Consistent.
So it was a really different thing to do it. It's a little bit hard at first because you have to train all those people, but it pays off in the end.
Yeah.
Because they know how to work as a team. We create a process that one person can jump from one car to another one really easy. They don't even have to talk to each other. Like, I don't have to stop and go to a car. What you did so far? You did the rims, you did the engine. No, well, I see what the person doing.
Step by step. If they didn't do this, that means that they're on this
Exactly.
Step.
I know exactly what the next step that I should do.
Yeah.
And we don't have anything like this in the marketing. We don't
Now, this, like you just mentioned, this is rather revolutionary. There's not many car detailing businesses that are franchising like you are. You must have caught...
we're the first one.
Yeah.
It doesn't have any franchise system in USA.
You must have caught a lot of backlash or a lot of criticism when you first started franchising the company, saying a lot, like you're not going to find success or you're never going to do something with this. What was the common thing that they said that you would fail with?
First, nobody believes.
Yeah.
Second is detailing. In reality, detailing, when you say about detailing, you think, detailing, you're not going to make any money. No. Yes. It depends. If you turn this as a really business, and then you can make some money. If you work for somebody else as a detailer, or if you have a mobile detailing, or even if you have a garage is a nightmare.
Yeah.
It's a lot expensive that you have. You don't know if you're going to have a customer or not. In the Northeast, it's no 3 months. It's really cold. Nobody does anything. Yep. So it's a nightmare, a garage. So you don't really making money as a detailer. But if you make a company like the way we did, and then you can make some money. So like we proved this with the system. Like the system now is really big and we can grow all over. Like right now we are trying to take a contract. It's an auto group in whole USA. It's a really big company. If we take that contract, it's 280 dealerships in whole USA. If we take that contract, we are talking about $250 million a year.
Wow.
And I
can tell. Just from that one auto group.
Just for that one auto group. They are huge.
That's why dealerships are so, I think, advantageous. Although it's hard to get into the dealerships.
It's hard to get in.
It's very difficult, and we'll talk about that. Once you get into an auto group that has some 30, 50, some 100.
We just take it all
overnight. You could grow it by 10, 20x, which is
you can take everything because there's no company like us right now.
Right.
Like one of the biggest companies have right now, what they do is they hire detailers and they put in there as a manager.
Okay.
They don't give any support to the person.
Right.
The person, like, again, it just use the products they want.
Right.
They don't know how to work as a team.
Right.
So they don't have any management skills. They don't know how to hire, how to supervise, how to train.
Do you have any competitors?
We have that company that's really good.
Yeah. But as far as people who are franchise that are doing what you're doing.
No franchise. We don't have any franchise. We are the number one. We are the only company. It was even a little bit hard to do it because when I decide to franchise, you have some companies that help you to franchise your business.
Of course. So
you need some attorneys. It's expensive process, and you need some attorneys and everything. It was hard for me to find an attorney because they use it to the restaurants, like Dunkin' Donuts, McDonald's, or things like that. Yep. When I will explain to them, they're like, what? Like, this is a little confused. Like, you have to... We took a little bit longer because they don't have the contracts or anything. We have to do from scratch.
Of course.
Literally from scratch. It was something a little bit complicated. I spend more money because of that. I spent about $300,000 just setting up the franchise. With the website, with the contracts, with the training process, all the decisions that we have to do it, which product we're going to use and things like that. Right. We use Simonize. Simonize is the best in the marketing right now.
Yep.
They really support us. They really believe in the system. They help us in everything. And we don't have problem at all. Everything we use is Simonize.
Wow. What are, obviously going from 0 dealers to where you're at now, over 40 dealerships, what are some key techniques or tactics that you use to grow your business and get into these dealerships? Is it cold calling? Is it going into them and just showing your face? Is it sending postcards? A lot of people have different strategies in growing their business. I just am very interested because you're a dealership-centric type of business, a B2B type of business.
Yes, exactly.
And for all the B2B businesses out there, what is a way that you, or techniques that you used to actually grow your business and get into these dealerships?
The only way you can get a dealer if you visit the dealer.
Yep.
That's the only way. Like, you never call the dealer and try to talk to a manager. They're not going to talk to you. You can send emails. You can send postcards. You can send anything. They're never going to decide to change their detailing department on a call. Or never. The only way to do it is we visit dealership all the time. We are there all the time. So let's say in Connecticut, we already visited every dealership in Connecticut. We already visited every dealership in Massachusetts, in Rhode Island. And why you have to visit? Because you have to get in there in the right moment, in the right time.
That's what it's about.
So they know that having the marketing, a business that manages detailing departments, and when they have problems with their detailers, right away they call us.
Yep.
So it is like a massive. We have to all the time. And the other thing is that those dealerships, they change managers often. Let's say you go to a dealership, you talk to a manager there, he doesn't like the idea of outsource the detailing. After 6 months, you go back there, he's not there anymore. Have another one, and he loves the idea, and then he calls you to start.
That's why you have to continuously go back and continuously create these types of relationships.
Now, in Cap Solutions case, the thing about Cap Solutions is now we are big, we are well known. So when we go to a dealership, they already know a little bit about us.
That's nice.
And the other thing that's important is the reference list. So we bring the reference list, and this makes a big difference.
Of course.
Because if you go to a dealership and I want to do detail over here, I manage the detail departments, and then they don't know you. If you have one store or two, they're a little bit afraid to change. But when you bring a list of 40 dealerships, they're like, all right, so those guys, they know what they're doing.
Correct.
They're not playing around.
Right.
And I will tell something. To us, the most important thing is not the new dealers. It's the one that we have.
Yes.
We are always taking care of the customers that we have, because we know when we visit somebody, we give the reference list, they're going to call to the person.
Yep.
So we always try to do as much as we can to amazing our customers.
I think that's super important for a lot of business owners to hear, because everyone is always very obsessed with how to grow, how to get more, but they're not even taking care of the clients that they have right now. And what you're saying, which I think makes complete sense, make sure that you foster and care for the current clients that you have, because if you're able to do that, the other ones will definitely come, which, to be quite honest with you, you've done an amazing job doing so.
So right now our reference list,
yeah,
like if I give you a reference list and you call to any company, I'm pretty sure they're gonna say good things about us.
Yeah,
we're not perfect. We're gonna make a bunch of mistakes. We're gonna do it. But I know, like, we're doing what they need. We are there to support. We're there. We make mistakes. We're gonna go there. Listen, we make this mistake. We're gonna do something. And the other thing is, our mentality is not really detailing. Our mentality is we are there to help the dealership sell. So we're going to do as much as we can to make sure the salesperson is fine, to make sure the customer, when goes there and see a car, those cars are perfect for sale. Like, our thing is not just detailing. We are a partner. When we get to a dealership, we literally are partners. We do whatever we can to help them. Yeah. And we can see that most of the dealers that start to work with us, their sales even goes up because the salespersons feel more confident to show a car. More people start to go there and see a car. And this is a long term. Because if you go to a dealership and the cars up front is dirty, you never more go back there.
Never.
Now, if you go there, everything's clean, you'd buy a car. And then you can say to another person, listen, this one is good. I bought there. They're nice. They take care of everything. If the dealerships take care of the inventory, it means the dealerships is pretty good. They're trying their best.
Right.
So when we get to a dealership, it helps a little bit the dealerships to sell more. We just start one this week. We get a salesperson that gets a delivery that we did, and he went all the way back there in the detailing, and we are like, oh, maybe we missed something not right. And he was like, guys, I came over here to tell you guys are unbelievable. This is so good.
Give you praise.
I tried to find anything in this car. Everything's perfect. I'm not used to that.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to even sell more car. Like, that's what we want.
That's exactly what you want.
Well,
you figure the difference between somebody who's getting paid minimum wage, not really to know how to do it, right? Because what most dealerships do is they're paying somebody, and that person who's cleaning the car, they don't care how it comes out. They don't care how it looks. And by the way, the dealership's liable for anything that happens to it. And there's a lot of liability along with it because at the end of the day, like you mentioned, if it's dusty, if there's stuff in it, it's sort of on the dealership. But with you guys, you come in, you have people who are experienced or people that actually know what they're doing, step-by-step process, bring your own equipment. It's very, very enticing, especially you guys have the liability and the insurance and the responsibility on your end. It just makes sense for many dealerships to go with you. There's that consistency workload with dealerships, which is really nice. I know there must be some cons with working with dealerships. What would you say off the top of your head, which is the biggest, I guess, negative to work with just a dealership? And I know you have many dealerships, so at this point in the game, even if you lose one or two, it's not the biggest deal. But I know a lot of dealerships throw a lot on the detailing department, whether it be, if something's wrong, the detailing department did it, or maybe the lack of communication at a lot of dealerships. Is there something across all of the dealerships that you find a consistent, I don't want to say negative, but something that's difficult to communicate with the dealer, if that makes sense?
All right. Yeah, I understand your question. But the thing is, like, we have to think that the customer makes a lot of mistake. We have to find the solutions. If we want the customer, that's not the customer problem. It's our problem. And I can tell you, we see those dealerships, some of them are really organized, but some of them is a mess.
Yep.
They even tell this. Like, we are not prepared. Right. Like, I don't know where the keys. I don't know where the car. This car is supposed to be delivered 3 o'clock, and we get the car 4. So this happens all the time. But again, we are not there. Like, we suffer sometimes. We suffer a lot because we get a lot of blame for things that we didn't do.
Yep.
But let's see, like damages on cars. We are the last ones to take in the car. So when the car is going to be delivered, we're the last ones. So we take some cars sometimes that have damages, and we didn't do it. But how can we prove that? We don't have cameras all over. It is hard to prove that we didn't do it. Sometimes we have to pay for things that we didn't do it. But that's normal. We just do it. Now, we think that we have to find a solution for the customer. Like, we don't have to think, or they are blaming me or something. No. If they're making this mistake all the time, how can I do to help them? I'm going to give an example for you. So we have to do the complete details. We get the car, the trade-ins or the auctions. We turn the car as new as possible. We put up front for sale. Sometimes the user manager doesn't have time to check those cars. So we are back there in the detailing, doing nothing, just waiting for him. We cannot decide which ones go to auction or which one's going to go to the line or anything. So what we do, we just go up front, We check all the cars that we didn't do it. We go to the user manager, tell him, listen, we have all those cars. Do you want us to do it? So we are helping him. It's like, oh,
being
shoot.
proactive.
Really?
We want you to sell these cars. Could we clean them for you?
Exactly. He's like, oh, that's perfect. Thanks, guys. And then he's like, do this, and we know what to do it. So if we were waiting for him, we never do it. And it's not his fault because he's just busy.
Right.
He just
doesn't
have time. And then sometimes he brings a bunch of cars. So we just help him in a situation like that. And we do this a lot in the sales, in the deliveries, in the completes. So we make sure we help them to sell, even if they're mass or not. It doesn't matter. Like, we're there to help.
Right. That makes sense.
So,
you have a lot of franchisee owners at this point. If you don't mind me asking, how many do you have at this point?
The franchise system is new.
Okay.
So we have cap solutions for 15 years, but the franchisee is about like 4.5 years, 5 years.
Okay, gotcha.
And we have 11 franchisees right now.
Wow, that's impressive. That's super impressive. So what would you say is a challenging thing for investors to invest in your company? I know there's a lot of people who are franchisors of businesses. How are you able to effectively or very successfely project your dream or portray your dream and your goals for somebody to invest in your business? Because I mean, at the end of the day, it's a big
investment.
It's a big decision. It's a big investment.
Yeah.
Is it just transparency? Is it authenticity? Is it showing them the numbers? Is it a little bit of everything? How are you effectively and successfly sort of showing your dream and having people invest in your business? Because you have a good amount of people investing in your business.
Yes.
How do you do it?
In reality, like right now I have 11 franchisees, but I have about like 40 people that wants to be in the business.
Right.
But to me, it's not about just the money. Like, I have like those 40 people, probably like 20 or 25, they already have the money. They're like, Chris, I have the money. I want to be in the business. Yeah. I'm like, no, it doesn't work like that. And like, that was my first problem when I started franchise, because I didn't know exactly how it works. Because when you hire somebody for work for you, if you don't like or something goes bad, you just fire the person. But a franchise is completely different. You make a contract of 10 years. Mm-hmm. So it's like a marriage. You have to really know the person. You have to really understand the person. And you have to like the person, and the person have to like you. Yes. It's not just about the business itself. So like when I opened the franchise, I have 16 people that came with the money to buy the franchise. Wow. So I talked to all of them. And we did some interviews. I showed the franchise disclosure document to them. And right there, I decided not to sell to none of them. I said, I'm not going to sell to none of them. I don't think they're not prepared. I wasn't prepared, but they're not prepared. They have the wrong mentality. They like, I asked a question to them, like, why want to be a business owner? And they answer me like, because I hate my boss and I want to open my business. Yeah. Like, if you hate your boss, you're going to hate your client.
Yeah.
Your boss, like your boss tell you what to do, you do only 10% of what he asks. The customer is completely different. You have to do whatever he asks and then like 100 times more.
That reminds me of when people say that they become a business owner or entrepreneur because they don't like working a 9-to-5 or they don't like working a lot. It's like when you become a business owner, you're on the clock all the time. You know it. And like you thinking that you're going to now create your own schedule, it's delusional.
It's not reality.
Yeah, it's not reality.
That's the other question. Yeah. It's like, why want to be a business owner? Because you know what? I'm going to hire some people, going to put them for work, and then I'm going to like relax. I'm like,
we'll see how that goes.
This is like that moment that I find out that they are not prepared to be our owner. Like I can't not put those people to be my partners. Like I have the system ready, but I don't have to sell. Like when I decide to create the franchise, to cap solution itself was perfect. I grow from 4 stores to 12 stores. Oh, wow. And I was working much less. I was coordinating much better. I could grow much better because all the organization that I did. Roma was my general manager at that moment. She helped me a lot with those 12 stores. Now she's a franchisee, but she's the one that really helps me in that moment before the franchise.
Yep.
But like the franchise was done. I could sell to anybody, but I'd say, I'm not going to sell to them. Mm-hmm. And it's more like I have to sit with the person. I have to talk to them and make sure they understand that's a life-changing thing. Yes. And when I say this, is not because I'm like, oh, I don't want to. No. I want to make sure they are comfortable as well.
Right, of course.
I want to make sure, tell them all the hard parts, and then they can see, all right, so I don't think this is for me. Or like, no, all right, I think it's for me. Even if they say, I think it's for me, I still push them a little bit more to see if it's really or not to them. Because it literally changes everything. Changes the way you think, the way you talk. It changes, like, your time changes completely. Your way you to see money changes completely. Like, if you regular worker and you save some money, that's a good thing. That means that you can be a good business person. Because if you're a worker, you don't save anything. It means that when you be an owner, you're not going to save anything as well. So you're going to just break your company. Like, all those small things makes a big difference. Like, right now, I can tell something. Everybody that is franchisee right now, they're really involved. They really want to do it. They change their lives. We're not talking about they're doing millions or anything, but they're doing much better than what they are doing before. But everybody that's in the system right now, they really love what they're doing. I can feel that. They tell that. They tell about the franchise to other people.
And how, just going off of that, how important is that culture inside of with the franchisee owners? Everyone feeding off of each other. Everyone, like you said, helping each other, supporting each other. Especially for a growing business, the first 5 years you want to expand to many dealerships. How important is culture inside the franchise?
It's really important because it is about money, but it's not just about money. Because after a while, you already have the money, but you need something else. So to me, it's literally a family. Some people are gonna say, no, business is business, family is family. No. Like, it's literally a family. Because if you respect the person, if you like, if you help each other, this is good for everybody. What I don't want to happen is you growing too fast, and then it happened the same way that when I lost the 3 dealerships.
Yeah.
So what I want to happen is, all right, we can go slow, but we'll go with quality. Go fine. We're not gonna lose any customer. Like, for you to have idea, franchisee can have 5 stores. Why 5 stores? If you want to have 20, wait, you have 5 first. Because 5 is possible to you to work. You're not going to kill yourself. Yep. You're going to make some money, and you're going to take care of your customer. You're not going to lose any customer. Now, if you decide to have 5 more, we're going to sit down and we're going to talk to see if it's possible or not.
Make sure you're taking care of that first 5 before you go on to the next
Before
5.
you go to another one.
Yeah.
So you have somebody that's going to take care of this because you're going to need time to take care of the 5 more or 1 or 2 more. So like, our customers right now, it's really important. And the franchisees know that. So let's see, if anybody wants to be a franchisee today, we sit down, we talk, we go to a dinner. Like, I tell them, we are in a date.
Yep.
Right now, we're in a date. You can tell me whatever.
Yeah.
And we can talk about anything. I talk to them about family, about money, about vacations, about their wife or their kids.
Personal stuff.
Personal stuff. I
like
want to
friends.
know. Exactly. I want to know. Because we're going to be friends.
Yes.
Literally. We're going to call each other all the time.
More than friends.
Like, my phone is 24/7. They call me anytime. They call me about anything.
Yes.
Because everything that you do influences in your life, influences in your business.
Yes.
So I really, really be careful when I decide to put somebody in the business. I really be careful.
That's
like,
good.
I don't put it, because not just for me, because I have to respect my customers and I have to respect my franchisees as well.
They're representing your brand. They're representing your brand. Your name is on.
And not just my brand, it's their brands too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if I put somebody there that is responsible, it's gonna mess up the whole thing. Everybody looks bad, and it's bad to everybody. So I'm really be careful when I decide to put somebody. Now, in the moment that I am right now, I know more who I can bring in or not.
Right.
Again, it was a learning process. So before, the first franchisee was Nara. Nara was the first one to believe in me. I didn't even believe me so much when we started.
Yeah.
Because, like, when you create a business and you believe in the business, it's just you. But when you put another person to do the same, it's a little bit more.
Of course.
It's a different thing. So I wasn't really believing, but then Nara said, Chris, I want to do it. I'm going to be the first franchisee. She knew that she was the first. She decided to do it anyway. And I learned a lot with her. We learned together. She learned a lot. I learned a lot. And even after Nara, it took me about like 3 or 4 franchisees to really feel comfortable. Like right now, I'm really comfortable. Yep. If I have a meeting with somebody that wants to buy the franchise, I know exactly what to look for.
Yep.
I know exactly. I know even sometimes I tell some people that wants to be a franchisee, I tell them, this is not for you. Yeah. Believe me. I can take your money right now. You're just gonna lose your money.
Yeah.
I tell you.
It's like almost reverse selling. It's almost like, it's like, look, I don't want you to be in the business.
But in the same way, I have some people that they don't believe that they can do it. And I know they can do it.
Yeah.
Like in our case, from 11 franchisees, I think eight of them was managers that used to work with us as a managers.
Okay.
So
a lot of internal
turns out of franchise.
Okay, that's awesome.
So I have some case that I see a guy working. Like I know how he works. I'm like, go there and talk to him. Listen, you don't have to work for me. Just buy a franchise. Have your own business. I will support you. I will help you. Oh, Chris, it's so complicated. I don't have the money. I don't have that. I don't know if I can do it. I'm like, I know you can do it. You're going to do it. I'm going to help you. You can do it. And now he's like, not only him, we have about like 8 people. And they're like completely surprised. They're like, Chris, thank you. You believe me. You believe me. Because I knew that he can do it. He was working exactly as an owner.
Wow.
But he was worker.
Right. It was a
and
worker.
I'm like, you don't have
you
to
could
do
sense
that.
You could sense an owner's mentality who's just at a 9 to 5 or was just doing something to make ends meet.
Like for you to have an idea that money is not everything. In those cases, I believe so much in them that they don't have to pay their whole royalty, the franchise fee.
Yep.
Because they have to pay a franchise fee up front. So what I told them is, listen, how much you have, you're gonna give that how much you have. Because I'm gonna spend some money with you guys too.
Right.
And the rest you can pay me when you get your first customer. So I know they're gonna get the customer.
Right.
I know they're gonna do a good job. I know they're not gonna lose the customer.
Yeah.
So I believe in that so much that I said, the money is not the problem.
Right.
Let's do it.
Right.
And then I know you're gonna pay me.
The money will come.
All of them, they're paying me.
Yeah.
They're paying.
Yeah. That makes sense. Switching gears a little bit.
Okay.
I know your wife works for the business. I want to speak to a lot of people who have maybe their significant other or somebody working for them. What's it like working alongside your wife? Are there boundaries that you need to set? Is she able to come in whenever she wants, leave whenever she wants? Like, how does it work sort of having your wife sort of deal with the financial aspect of things while you're out there in the field doing the business and expanding the business and catering to franchisee owners?
In my case, I can tell right away. The wife is the boss.
In all aspects.
Literally. She's the boss.
Yeah.
But I don't mind.
Yeah.
I'm completely fine with that.
Yep.
Because it's like I'm out there doing a bunch of things. And she's the one that takes care of the numbers. And people don't understand how the numbers are important. Because you're doing the job, you're working like a crazy, and then you see the volume of cars, the volume of people, and then you think, I'm doing a ton of money. But then she calls and says, listen, this is what we're doing. You're going to have to cut this. We're going to have to do this. So she's the one that sees the numbers. And she's the one that controls all the paperwork. And for the franchisees, that's a really good thing because in the office, she supports everything. The payroll, the invoices. Like the franchisees doesn't have to worry about that. Like you have a lot of people out there that have companies, they don't pay taxes. And then after like 2 or 3 or 4 years, they're in trouble.
Yeah, big trouble.
So we don't do that. And sometimes they don't pay tax. It's not because, I don't know, because sometimes they don't know how to do it. They just do once and then they don't have time, let it go for like 2 months. And then, I have to pay tax. And then he doesn't have the numbers, it doesn't have the papers.
Yeah.
So we have this support in the office. And Paula is the one that takes care of all those numbers, all those information. She's really good in those things.
That's awesome.
She checks everything. She sees everything.
And it's good you have a person you could trust too.
It is good.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Especially
she's the one that's taking care of everything. Well, literally, she's the boss.
Yeah. That's a good thing though. That's a good thing.
I don't think that's bad. Can I come back in something?
Please.
So when I start to self-franchise, I have all those people that want to buy the franchise, and I start to talk to them, and I see that a lot of them doesn't know what it is to be an owner.
Yes.
And because of this experience, it took me like a year doing interviews, talking to everybody, and get to a point that like, I'm not going to sell to nobody. So I'm going to have to find people that really understand what it is to be an owner. And this doesn't mean that they have to be owner before, or they have to have the experience of be an owner. No. It's just a mentality.
That's it.
But then in this moment, I decided to write a book. So I write a book. It calls Entrepreneur. Are you one of them?
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
So
Tell us a little about it.
This book is exactly telling this, because a lot of people want to be a business owner. A lot of people, I'm just going to open my business. I'm just going to do. And then when they start to do it, they're like, oh, that's not that easy the way I thought.
Yes.
So this book is like a little bit to help you on this, is to change your mentality from employee to a business owner. If you want to do it, it doesn't mean that you're going to do it or something, but this helps you to have a better vision of, right, as an employee, you have this vision. As a business owner, it changed completely. It's a different vision, different way to think.
Yep.
And this book tells exactly this difference between one and another one. Like everybody that sometimes come to me and say, Chris, like I want to open a business. What do you think? It doesn't matter if my business. I want to open a business. What do you think about that? I say like I think you have to be prepared. You have to do it. The first thing is do it. Just do it, because even if it fail, you're gonna learn.
Correct.
But do it. Don't keep thinking, maybe
Yes.
I'm gonna save money.
No.
I'm gonna wait. No,
You're gonna learn by doing.
Just do it. But be a little bit prepared. Read a little bit. Have a lot of books out there that can help you to navigate to there.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of the books. It calls Entrepreneur. Are you one of them? So it's a little small book.
That's awesome.
And it helps.
I think a lot of people need that nowadays. There's a lot of people there are so many people, and going into sort of the next topic, there's a lot of people that are contemplating a lot of times. They're thinking through a lot of scenarios, but they're not actually doing. And it's really good that you have a book that sort of gives you a good defined approach of, look, if you're going to think this way, this is the person you're going to be. But if you want to actually be a business owner or entrepreneur, you need to look at it this way. And the mentality is so, so important. What would you say?
I think with social media right now, it's a lot of confusion.
Yes.
Like we see a lot of those young people are millionaire.
Everyone's an entrepreneur.
3 months, I'm all those things. This is not reality.
Yeah, at all.
This is really danger. Yeah. And I think this makes like young people feel like frustrated.
Yep.
Like, oh, I'm just working over here like a crazy. I'm not making all what these guys are doing.
Yep.
And they get all confused.
Yeah.
This is not reality at all. Like I opened this business 15 years ago and I work like a crazy. I don't mind because I like it. I'm fine with that. I'm okay with that. But you have to have this mindset that you're gonna work a lot. And you're going to have a lot of hard times. And it's not an illusion. Like right now, what we see in social media is an illusion.
Oh, my gosh. Half the things, more than half the things on Instagram are complete lies and fabricated. If there are people who are looking to get into business or looking to start a business, what are 1 or 2 top traits that you think they need to possess?
Again, I think business is not to everybody. I think it's not everybody. But again, when somebody call me and ask me, Chris, I'm thinking about to open a business or something. In my mind is, if you already having these thoughts, you're supposed to open. Do something. Just open something. And you don't have to go crazy. You can start with something small. Start with anything small. Like right now I have like 5 companies. And one is just a construction company. We start this week. I don't know much about construction, but I have the other business. I started a construction company, and slowly I'm learning. Slowly I will know how to do it, and it can get to a point that it doesn't work, but it can get to a point it works.
But you're doing it.
I'm doing something.
Yeah.
So when somebody come to me and say, should I open a company? I'm like, if you have this thought, just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. Open anything.
Because the regret's going to weigh is going to weigh so much more than you thinking about, oh, should I do it? Or you going and failing. So it makes sense for you to go do it.
And we don't know what's going to work or not.
Yeah.
Some people, they have an idea and then they start to do it and they think this sucks. This is not going to work. Like, who thinks that detailing is going to work?
Yeah.
Like the detailing works like for a small business or things like that. But our company is growing a lot. Yeah. So nobody could thought that it work like that way. So you don't know if it's going to work. Now, the thing about opening a business is that you have to be careful because Let's see if you do it. And then if something goes bad, you cannot just stop it. Some people, they try something, it doesn't work, and then they're like, never more going to do this. I don't think that's supposed to be the thought. Yeah. If it doesn't work, try again. If it doesn't work, because you have to rethink, like you organize and see what's not working or something. But don't stop.
And that
because if you stop, it means you never supposed to be.
And you could have been just right on the edge of actually. And goes back to what you were saying before about the dealer who reached out to you and said, "Chris, you suck. You're doing terrible."
Yes.
A lot of people would look at that and be discouraged and say, "You know what? I'm done with this stuff. I'm not doing this anymore." Or you could look at it as, "Wow, I'm so grateful he gave me that advice. He literally gave me a blueprint of how I could be better in the future." Not many people are thinking like that, but that also ties into the mentality of a person who's working a 9-to-5 versus a person who's a business owner, right? They're taking the accountability. They're saying, okay, why are they telling me that, right? Why are they giving me that criticism? A lot of people, especially nowadays, they're pointing a finger at somebody else. They're not pointing a thumb at their self for why they're not doing it.
Like Jeff Z. Yep. I was so grateful for him.
Yeah.
Like at first when he told him, I was like, I hate you. And I didn't say it to him. I thought. Yeah. But I like, this guy's horrible because he was really tough.
Yeah.
But then after 1 week or 2 weeks, like suffering like a crazy, I'm like, he's completely right.
Yep.
I was wrong.
Yep.
And you know what happened? I organized a company, we grow a lot, and then we start to work with him again. So he called us to work with him again. So the first thing I did is I called him, I meet him, and I said, you were responsible for my company to grow like that. And then I told him the story.
Oh, wow.
He didn't know that.
Yeah.
I told him, we were responsible because you were really tough with us when we start.
Yep.
And we lost some stores because of you. We decided to organize the whole company. He was so happy.
Yeah.
He was so happy.
That's been a nice thing for him to hear.
Well, now we're friends. We go out, we drink.
That's awesome.
And he's really tough. But tough guys shows a lot of things.
Of course.
Shows a lot of things. He's a really good professional.
Yeah,
he helps me a lot.
Now, looking forward, obviously you guys are expanding pretty drastically. Looking forward for Cap Solutions, what are the plans? Is it just to try to conquer the Northeast area, or is it something maybe you're just trying to go in different parts of the United States? What's sort of the plan looking in the future for Cap Solutions?
So right now in Northeast, we're already we still have a lot of dealers that we can work with.
Yep.
In Northeast, they already know us a lot. We are trying a little bit the South.
Okay.
So Florida, Georgia, we are visiting some states in there like Tennessee, because it changed some things.
Of course.
Like the salary there is different, the mentality is different.
Yep.
So we know that when we go there, we will have to change a little bit or tweak a little bit the system to adapt the way they do in there. But what I can say is not just Northeast, the whole USA, they are in need of the service that we do. I know that. They just don't have a company that they can run and do their business. Again, they have those small businesses. They go there, they do a shitty job, and then the dealer is like, I'm not going to try those companies anymore. But our system is completely different. It's completely, like, most of those small companies, they hire detailers and they put it there as a managers. Like, we make completely different. We have franchisees. So franchisees is a person that bought the business. He's pride of. He owns the business.
Right.
What he wants to do when he gets to a dealership, first thing he wants to do, as best as possible, everything. Because he doesn't want to lose the customer.
Yes, it's his.
It's his customer.
It's his.
And so you can feel the difference right away.
Oh, 100%.
I used to have managers in there. They don't care.
It's way different.
Now we have franchisees. For sure, the franchisees is going to have the managers too, because they cannot run like 5 or 6 or 10 stores.
Of course.
But they are there all the time checking them. Even the managers like this. Because the managers, they don't have to carry the load by themselves. They have somebody that's checking them, that's seeing them, that support them.
Of course.
So when you go to a dealership that the detailing is managed by a detailer, it's not the same. When you go to a dealership that the Cap Solutions there and they have a franchisee taking care, it's completely different. If the dealer calls, the franchisee says, I have a delivery here, it's 11 o'clock at night. He doesn't care. He goes there. He doesn't care.
It's got to be done.
Like the franchisee always is going to do extra. They're going to do more because it's their business. Yeah. It's their customers. Like they really care for the business.
That makes sense. In closing, if there's anybody listening to this podcast, what's the one thing that you want them to remember, or at least get a good idea about from your story or from anything that you've sort of said in this episode?
I want to say something.
Please.
It's about Immigrant.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So, as I said, I think everybody should be a teacher for a while. This helps you understand more human. Mm-hmm. Like we have a lot of flaws, and we cannot be so tough. We have to understand that people make mistakes. The other thing is, like, I think every American, they should go out sometimes and live, not just vacation, live in a different country. Because if you go to a vacation, you see different things.
Yes.
Like if you go to vacation in Florida, in Orlando, you're going to see something. Yes. If you go to live in Orlando, you're going to see different things.
Yep.
So I think every American should go out and live abroad for a year. No more than that, but living there, working there.
Yep.
You know what's going to happen? They're going to come back grateful. Like this is amazing country. America is the best. Mm-hmm. Like I don't take any for granted. Mm-hmm. And I can see that a lot of Americans take things for granted. Like I'm here today. I'm grateful every single day. I wake up, I walk around, I'm like, thanks God.
Yeah.
Thanks God. This is perfect. And I try to protect this as much as I can. I try to do as best as I can. Like the American people, they are so kind. Like I have so many help when I started my business. When I came over, my son used to play soccer. He went all the way to college playing soccer. And I don't have time to bring my kids to play games in New York. And everybody's around helping me. Don't worry, I got your kids. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they travel like 30 minutes to go there and take my kids. Wow. So like they like the American people are really kind. Right now, we're having like a lot of problems. People like kill themselves, like they hate each other. But I don't think this is a good thing. Like we just have to be grateful. We just have to help as much people as we can. Right?
Well, there's so many people who are complaining about milk in their coffee, but then you go to another country.
Exactly.
People can't even get access to clean water. People don't have roofs over their heads. So
I don't blame because they are used to this.
Yeah, of course.
It's a perfect life or something like that. But if they go out and see how people live in other countries, they will come back completely changed.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they'll come back completely changed. Like I'm grateful. This is an amazing country. My wife loves here. My kids love here. Like we really love here. And we do everything to make our part to make sure it's everything's okay in this country.
Wow. That makes complete sense. In closing, is there anything else that you would like to mention? Anything else that you want to say, plug, or is this sort of the time for us to depart?
I think it's back to the part. I love to be here.
I'm so glad that we had you here, and this isn't going to be the only time. I'm going to make sure in a
you
year,
can call me
in a year or two when you have 100, 200
stories,
then we're going to have you back. Thank you so much for your time, everything you've had. You've really provided a lot of value, and I know there's so many viewers on the other side that's going to extract so much value. Good. And I really appreciate you coming here. So
I just want to say, just want to say thanks for the franchisees.
Yes.
Like I just have the franchisees we have, they are really good.
Yep.
I want to say thank you for our employees. They really care about the business, and mainly for our customers. Like we love them. All the customers we have right now, they are amazing. They're great. That's all, I think.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Chris.
Thanks so much.
That wraps up this episode of the Kurious Podcast. If you like this episode, make sure to like and subscribe, and make sure to stay curious, stay vigilant, and stay free. I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.